the interest in the Canadian federal elections, Boston 2013. The question measures participants' interest in the federal elections, informing us of how politically alienated people are, which may affect the voter turnout. Using the CPS section of the Canadian Elections Survey, I will use participants' interest in different contexts of government business to measure their overall interest in elections. The rationale is that Canada is a social democratic country in which the people demand and rely on the government for certain services, including welfare, education, and healthcare. Concern for these pillars of the social democracy would show concern for the federal elections. The reliability test shows an alpha score of 5.5334, telling us that all three variables are related. Furthermore, the alpha item, if deleted section points, the questions are related, and taking one away would not affect it substantially. Though it's under 0.6, the questions are all related and show concern in the government.
Here we have our univariate analysis. To the left, we have the table with the raw data, which doesn't take into account the people who answer don't know or refuse to answer the questionnaire. On the right side, we have the recoded table, which explicitly tells us all the percentages.
Our hypothesis 1 is the more concerned an individual shows for the welfare system, the more interest they will be in the federal election. Welfare is of utmost importance to the voter because it includes redistributive policies and programs enabling the disadvantaged to reach the minimal level of existence within the nation state. Our hypothesis 2 is that the more concerned an individual shows for the education system, the more interest the participant will show in the election. Education affects most voters. The money the government invests in education will eventually affect our future generation. And the third hypothesis is the more concern they show for the healthcare system, the more interested they will be in the federal election.
Here we have our first bivariate cross tabulation. It shows the relationship between healthcare and interest in federal elections. As you can see, those with little concern or little interest for the federal election have very low concern for the healthcare system. Here we have our second bivariate cross tabulation, and that's with welfare and interest in federal elections. The relationship is not as strong as the previous one, and there's only a 20% increase in those interested in the federal election from little to a lot of concern over the welfare system. Once again, in education, we only see a 20% raise from those with little concern to those with a lot of concern over education and interest over the federal elections. However, there's very little interest in those who have little concern for education. So the correlation between concerns for welfare and interest in federal election is not too strong. There's only a 20% increase in interest for federal elections for those who have little concern for welfare to those who are highly concerned for welfare. The same is true for the relationship between concern of education and interest in the federal election. This is the major reason for the low score on Tau B for both of these cross tabulations. Strongest correlation is with healthcare. It shows the strongest raise in interest over the federal elections. Here we have our conclusion. Since education does not have a direct effect on voters, it does not grasp so much attention of the public. It's an issue that the nation relies on and should be very important for future generations. The weak concern over welfare can also be a warning to those who rely on welfare. A population does not fully support a welfare system to create strong societal divides. Finally, the healthcare system is not completely surprising. Canadians are usually proud of their healthcare system,